Hola guys. I am not even going to try and fake a front with y'all because I'm on the verge of tears, but I will not cry because if I do, I'm going to have an anxiety attack, and I've been having those and I don't want one again. My thoughts are all jumbled, but I'm going to try and do a timeline of the BS that's happening from when it started. I may forget some things, I may come back to it, but this is just the state my head is in right now. And I don't even know if I'm going to upload this, but I need to desahogarme, which means vent. I need to let it out. I need to put it out there. I need to hear it. I need to see it. And I need to get over it. And I need to move on. So this is going to be some kind of therapy. The BS started on the 31st. No, the 30th of July. I have all kinds of issues. I have house issues, I have car issues, I have kid issues, I have me issues, I have work issues, I have issues all over the place. Everything is going wrong, okay? Everything is going wrong, and it's working my nerves. So it started on the 30th with the car. Now, I've had issues with the car. Power steering in particular, there is a recall, but for months now, I've been given the runaround by GM and Chevy, that there's not a designated recall service center. They don't have the parts are on back order. We can take your car, but we don't have loaners. It's a bunch of BS. Okay, so I do what I have to do. I have to go to work. I have to maintain. I don't have time for the BS. Okay, so I've been driving the car as is, and I've gotten pretty good at it. When the power steering goes out, I've learned to Incredible Hulk it. As long as I have some speed, turning and maneuvering isn't too bad. But when you're trying to move a vehicle from a dead stall with no power steering, it requires a lot of upper body strength, which I already don't have. I mean, I look like a linebacker, but I'm not strong like one. So it takes a lot of upper body strength. And on the 30th, it was just a normal day, power steering goes out, oh, no big deal. But that day in particular, the heat index was 106, and I had not covered my steering wheel. So the steering wheel was super, super hot. My skin was literally sticking. My palms were literally sticking to the steering wheel, and I kept having to let go, which was causing even bigger issues with me trying to maneuver this friggin' car out of the parking spot with no power steering. So long story short, by the time I was able to maneuver the car out, I was whimpering. My palms were burned. I had blisters on this pad and on here. I don't know why this one got it the worst. Well, I kind of do, because it plays into what happened. But I, maneuvered my way out of the parking lot and drove home whimpering like a little bia because my hands were burning. And during my trying to maneuver the car in reverse and out of the parking lot, I heard a pop. Now, this is the second time that I've heard a pop, and I'm not talking about a pop in the car. I'm talking about a pop in my body. Weeks before maneuvering that car, I heard a pop, and I felt a little pull right in here. Didn't think anything about it. I usually blow things off like that. I can deal with it, and I didn't think anything about it. It did hurt for a day or two, and then it went away. No big deal. Well, this time, because I was struggling with a super hot steering wheel, I heard a pop again, but this time it shot across my shoulder, across here, down my shoulder, and into my ribs. I thought, oh my God, did I break a rib? Did I really just friggin' break a rib trying to drive this friggin' car? Because it was a very defined pop and pain like I hadn't felt before. But I have had broken ribs before, and that's what it reminded me of. So I drove home, no big deal. It was a Tuesday. I drove home, no big deal. Pick up Caleb and get home. Wednesday morning, I wake up and I was swollen. My neck and all of this was swollen. I looked very, very bizarre. And when I tell you it was swollen, there was no curve, okay? There was no curve. It was just like a stump. And I couldn't move my arm well, and it hurt really, really bad. So I'm always this queen of procrastination. The car, I'll just drive the car the way it is. I'll just handle things the way they are. I'll just take some pain pills and get over it. But this time, I couldn't pull the Melly thing where, oh, I'll get over it and I'll be fine. No, it was really, really hurting really, really bad. So I went into the doctor, and they didn't even have to x-ray me right away. She said, oh, that's a sprain. And I had to explain how I sprained myself. I have a sprained clavicle. I didn't even know that was a thing. And there's different degrees degrees or phases. I think it's degrees. I don't know. There's 1, 2, and 3, or 1 through 5. I don't know. The higher, the worse damage. I didn't rip anything. I didn't tear anything. I just pulled. Um, your clavicle. I pulled the tendons in my clavicle, which was the pain. There's nothing they can do. They gave me a heating pad, this big old heating pad, and muscle relaxers, and some tramadol. And I went on about my business. And thankfully, I don't know if the car fairies were in my favor, but for 2 weeks, my power steering was fine. It didn't lock up on me, because had it, I would have just re-injured myself, because there's no way I can maneuver with my left hand. I need both hands. Now, yes, I need a new car. Before anybody says anything, I do need a new car, but I am queen of wait till the last minute, wait until there's nothing else that can be done before I will buy new. And there's the fact that GM is supposed to fix these free of charge is what I'm holding on to it, because you're going to fix what y'all screwed up. You're going to fix what should be fixed. And especially now that I've friggin' been injured, hello, life has gotten in the way and I've let it go and I've played their game. But like I said, the car is paid for. It's an old car. It's paid for. But still, there's principalities in this. If you know something's messed up in it, fix it. Fix it. Why am I going to go and buy a new car and get into a whole car payment thing when what's wrong with my car is supposed to be fixed? Are y'all getting me? So that's just one thing that's going on in my life. I have a whole bunch of other things happening. Okay. So that's just one little thing I have to deal with. But anyway, sprained my arm. A few weeks of everything was fine. Everything was fine with the car. Anyways, I hurt myself Tuesday. I went to the doctor Wednesday. Then that Thursday was little dude's GI appointment. Now, he goes to the GI every 3 to 4 months. And the last time we went, he was doing awesome. You guys, we've struggled with his weight since the beginning of time. With autism, some autistic children, and I say some because all autistic children are different. Some autistic children struggle with GI issues. Mine is one of them. He has issues with his little bowels. He gets constipated really fast. He can get impacted really, really fast. He's on medication, probably will be for the rest of his life for his GI issues. But we've always struggled with weight, malnutrition, and failure to thrive. And just 6 months ago, he was finally, guys, and I'm talking about years of putting plans in place and diets and shakes and supplements. We finally, between me, his GI, his pediatrician, we finally got him to 70 pounds. It was amazing. So when I knew he had grown. I knew he had gotten taller. And I had noticed when he got out of the shower that he was looking a little thin around his rib cage. But I'm like, well, he's just going to be a little string bean, He has gotten taller. But in the back of my mommy head, I was like, something's not right. And your mommy head and your mommy heart always knows. Because I took him to his GI on August 1st. And she said he had plummeted past the little chart. And I had the chart and I was going to show it to you guys if y'all wanted to see it. Just height to weight ratio is way off. Now, granted, he did grow, but with his risks, we have to keep it balanced. And it went way balanced. It went way off. He's supposed to weigh 80 pounds. 80 pounds is minimum what he should weigh to be considered healthy. He weighs 68 pounds. Okay, so he dropped weight. Okay, fine. We've been here before. No big deal. We'll just tweak, his medications, tweak his supplements. We'll tweak it. But no, she said, because he has dropped so much and grown so much at the same time, kind of like double whammy each other, if we don't get weight on him between now and September, he's going to have to be put on a feeding tube. And when I heard that, I started to cry, because I see people that are clinic on feeding tubes, and these are adults that are going through a lot of medical issues because of these feeding tubes. And I can't imagine my little boy on one. He's 10. He plays basketball and he's in karate. And I don't want him not being able to do these things. So when I heard that, I started crying. I tried not to because he was in there. But thankfully, he was asleep. I don't know what it is about this GI office that knocks him out. He gets so comfortable and he will fall asleep. So he was asleep when I started to cry. And by the time the GI was done and the dietitian came in, he was awake and I was upset. And the dietitian also mentioned a feeding tube. So he's like, what's a feeding tube? And we had to explain to him what a feeding tube was. His eyes got really, really big. He got really nervous. When they all left, he came and asked me, what is a feeding tube? Does it hurt? I'm not going to lie to my kid. I don't sugarcoat anything because he's autistic, okay? The world is already going to be mean enough to him. Mommy's not going to bullcrap him, okay? I'm not going to bullcrap him. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I need to prepare him for how ugly the world is. And pain is part of the ugly world. So I said it can hurt. It can be very uncomfortable, but we're not going to, no, we're canceling that out. We're not even going to worry about it. We're going to do what we have to do. We're going to put weight on you and we're going to be okay. But we were both really sad and really scared. So since then, we've tweaked his medications. We've tweaked everything. He had to have a complete cleanse because he did have a lot of impacted poop in his stomach because, you know, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. It takes one missed dose of medication, one missed meal, one missed poop. It doesn't take much for him to get all screwed up. And I felt bad because I dropped the ball. After my mom broke her hip, I was so focused on her, and then I had to put him in a daycare because she couldn't take care of him anymore. And in daycare, his food sensory issues, his food aversion, I worried that it was going to be an issue. So I got a letter from his GI stating that he could bring in outside food, which isn't allowed in most daycares because of allergens and this and that. But it wasn't until almost a month of him going to daycare and him telling me he was eating breakfast and lunch there that something just didn't compute, because he would tell me what they had for breakfast and what they had for lunch, and I knew these were things that he couldn't tolerate. He couldn't eat. He couldn't, you know. So I finally just asked the teachers, is he eating? And they're like, not really, you know. Yeah, I'm in my spot. Like, not really. So I was like, oh no, goodness gracious, no. I needed to bring in his lunch, and his GI provided a letter of medical necessity, and the daycare was fine with it. But by then, the damage was already done. Okay, by then, he'd already lost enough weight. Now, granted, he was skipping breakfast. He was picking at his lunch, and then he was running around outside playing basketball. So all that activity was just burning calories that he couldn't afford. So by the time I figured out he needed to be bringing in his lunch, the damage was already done, and I missed it. Okay, I dropped the ball on my kid. I missed that. And I hate myself for it because I don't know how I missed it. I don't know if it was because I was trying to take care of my mom. I don't know if it was because he seemed so good. He was so energetic. He was so happy. He came home and he would eat dinner, not ravenously or anything. He would just eat dinner like usual. You know, he ate really, really good dinners, but I missed it. And looking back in that GI office, I'm like, he would come home kind of tired. I missed it. Okay. So now my kid is dangerously underweight, on the verge of getting a feeding tube, and I am desperate to get the weight back on him. And he and I are on team no tube. Like when he gets full and he gets that little look on his face like, Mom, I can't take another bite. I'm like, baby, no tube. Okay. We're team no tube. We got to eat. So he's eating more, and I'm watching him like a hawk. We are getting in those calories. I'm doing the best that I can, but because he does have sensory issues and food aversion issues, they tweaked his shake, his supplemental shake, to one from 360 calories to one to 560 calories. He cannot tolerate the 560 calorie one. I've tried watering it down. He says it's too thick, it's too sweet. And I knew right away when he started sipping on the one that they gave him, he started to cough. Have you guys ever had something so sweet that it tickles and burns your throat? Well, I knew right away. He started coughing. And he did. He championed it for 2 days, and he says, Mom, I can't. It's too sweet and it's too thick. So I started watering it down with his other shake, but then that didn't do anything for the sweet. So I started watering it down with water, and he can't. He can't tolerate it. So his GI says, okay, just make sure that you're getting in the 3 cans. If you can get in 4, and that's the thing. Before he went into daycare, he'd have one of his shakes in the morning before school. He'd have a shake after school. He'd have a shake after dinner before bed. And those are absolutely necessary calories. Just like 70% of his dietary intake are those shakes. So when he went to daycare, it never occurred to me to send a shake with him, and we'd get home too late for him to have the afternoon shake, and then dinner, it was interfering with his dinner. So I was just not giving him that middle shake, that second shake a day, and it messed him up. So now we're back on 3 shakes a day as soon as we get home from daycare. I don't give a crap that it's 6:30. Baby, put a straw in it, suck it down. And then he eats dinner, and then he has one right before bed. So we're back on 3 shakes, but of the 350 calorie one as opposed to the 561. She said just try and push the 3, try and push the 3, try and push high calorie foods. A couple of cheeseburgers a week. It's not going to hurt him. A pizza a week. It's not going to hurt him. I'm doubling up on butter. I'm doubling up on cheese. Whatever I can do to make these shakes have more calories in them to where it's tolerable. Whatever I can do to the foods that he does like, I'm doubling up on everything. And I don't know how we're doing. I need to buy a scale. I haven't bought a scale. But I thought we were doing okay. Okay, so that plays into, I've been handling everything, making sure he's taking his medication and eating and doing everything he's supposed to do. His dad finally picked him up this weekend after many weekends of ditching him. That's something else that just bugs me, but that's neither here nor there. But he finally decided he's going to pick him up today. Now, I stressed and stressed and stressed. You have got to make sure he's eating 3 times a day. Over there is no structure. There's no schedule. He'll call me at 1 in the morning sometimes, and they're barely eating. 1 in the friggin' morning. But I stressed and stressed. From the day I took him to GI, I let his dad know this is what's going on. This is what could happen. This is what I have to do. This is what we're going to do. And it's one in one ear and out the other. He's either ignorant to it or I'm not sure. But I've stressed and stressed and stressed what's going on and how important it is for me to put this weight back on him. So when he picked him up today, first of all, he rushed me, and I should have known something was up. He is back with the girlfriend that he keeps breaking up with for the last 5 years. He's back with her. And he was rushing me this morning to get him ready. I said, well, he hasn't even had a shower. He came home from karate so tired yesterday. We were going to give him a shower in the morning. Well, he can take a shower at my house. I need to pick him up. I got to go. You don't understand. I got to go. I should have known something was up. When he's in a rush that way, it means he has a job to do during the day because he delivers. He's a mover. He has a little moving company. Usually when he's in a rush like that, it's because he has an appointment to make. And now that he's back with a girlfriend, I knew he was going to leave little dude with his girlfriend, which is fine. She and I have had our issues. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I feel she oversteps her bounds. We've had altercations based on that, but I do absolutely appreciate the care she gives little dude when she stays in her lane. Because if it weren't for her, when little dude has medications or stuff like that, he wouldn't get it because his dad doesn't pay attention. So I had a feeling, and sure enough, little dude calls me at 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock today. He picked him up a little before noon. Said he was going to take him to lunch. He did take him to McDonald's because I stressed, make sure he eats. Be absolutely sure he eats. He needs to eat every 4 hours. He needs the highest calorie foods you can give him. I don't know why I thought he would relay this information to the girlfriend when I know he never does. Which is why I think it's good that she and I have a semi-cordial relationship. But so he ate around 1. He took him to McDonald's. He ate around 1. At 4 something o'clock, little dude calls me and tells me Dad left me with her and went to work. And that's our thing. Little dude has been noticing the times that he's been getting ditched. He is now at the age where he says, Mom, why does Daddy keep doing this? Babe, keep doing what? Say he's going to come pick me up and does it. I used to make excuses for his dad, but I don't make them anymore. I used to say, oh, he probably had to work or he probably blah, blah, blah. I don't make excuses for him anymore. Like I said, I don't sugarcoat the world to my kid. I'm not just going to be blunt and, put ugliness out there. But I told him that's something you're going to have to ask your dad. Just ask him. Ask him why he says he's going to pick you up and doesn't pick you up. I don't know. So anywho, because little dude is now aware that his dad is playing some kind of stupid game, he calls me at 4 something, says Dad left him with the girlfriend and his little brother. And he had to go to work. And I'm like, well, are you okay being there? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. I thought Daddy was going to be here. Yeah, well, I thought daddy was gonna be there too. I mean, like it's two times a month, dude. 2 weekends a friggin' month, and you can't make that time for him. Are you kidding me? And then other times you're just ditching him, no call, no show, nothing. Or the worst, I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm on my way. 6 o'clock. Oh, baby, I got busy, I can't come. It's like, why are you doing that? He's old enough now to smell the BS, and he's questioning the BS. And now I'm directing him to his dad. Ask your dad. Ask your dad. But so he calls me at 4 something, the daddy's gone. And then I asked him had he had lunch, and he said no. I'm like, oh gosh. So I texted his dad. Oh my gosh, it's doing something. So I texted his dad and I told him, if you're not going to be home soon, I need you to alert your girlfriend that he needs to have dinner very, very soon, or a late lunch. He needs to eat again. No response. I tried to call him. He didn't answer. So I figured, let me just contact her directly, which I dread doing because she can be really, really annoying. She can be really, really obnoxious. But before I even got a chance to text her, little dude calls me back again, and he's crying and says that the little rat that his little brother had, they have 2 rats, 2 pet rats. One of them killed the other one. And little dude, being autistic, takes on other people's emotions really, really takes him on really hard. If you're happy, he's elated. If you're sad, he's heartbroken. If you're scared, he's terrified. He takes on other people's emotions if he cares about them. And he loves his little brother. So his little brother was just destroyed about this rat being dead. He calls me upset. And I did hear the girlfriend in the back. She came in. She goes, honey, are you okay? And he said yes. And he goes, are you upset because of Ellie? That's the name of the rat. And he's like, yeah. And I'm sad because his little brother's sad. And she goes, okay, well, you want to come out here with us? And he said no. And I can hear it in his voice. He's upset. He's upset. She goes, would you like some time alone? And she handled it so nice. She handled it so well. Considering she doesn't have an autistic child of her own, and we've never talked about his meltdowns. He has them few and far between, but I know when they're coming, and it sounded like he was going to have one. So he told her he wanted to be alone. She said, okay, well, I'll be right outside if you need me. And I thought she handled it really, really well. But she shouldn't be handling it, okay? His dad should have been there to handle it, okay? His dad should have been there to make sure that he had lunch. His dad should have been there to make sure that he could handle what happened. Little rat died, okay? It wasn't so much the rat. It was seeing his little brother upset. So I'm calling the dad again. Little dude tells me, can you call daddy and tell him to come home? I'm like, oh my gosh, can I call another woman's boyfriend and tell him to go home? But I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. So I call him and he doesn't answer. So I texted him and I kind of went off a little bit. I said, look, little dude is going through some things that you need to be present for. I asked him just now if he had another meal. He has not. Now he's very upset because of what happened with the little rat. You need to get home, or you need to let me know when you're going to be home, or you need to contact the girlfriend and let her know how to handle, that he needs to eat and how to handle a potential meltdown. And as soon as I said meltdown, I'm like, this dude doesn't even want to acknowledge that Caleb even has autism. So I bit the bullet and I texted her directly. And I said, I know you got a lot on your hands with your little boy, upset over the rat, over his little pet. I said, but this is what's going on. Caleb has to eat every 4 hours, and he takes on people's emotions really, really strongly. He may have a meltdown. I heard you in the background. I think you handled it really, really well, but he may have a meltdown. This is what happens with meltdowns, and this is how we handle it. And she didn't respond. Well, I didn't expect her to, because she's dealing with a little heartbroken kid over the loss of his pet. So she finally calls me about an hour later, and she's so obnoxious. She's one of these ladies who tries to convince me how wonderful and powerful a team they are. Lady, I know you're full of crap, okay? Because when y'all are together, y'all hold each other on the highest pedestal. And then when y'all break apart, both of y'all come at me with all this about each other. And then y'all expect me to magically forget that just a few months ago y'all hated each other. I mean, give me a break, okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't need to hear about what a wonderful mother you are and about this wonderful, this wonderful relationship you have with my son. I know you do, and I'm grateful for it. But stop telling me. I'm trying to ask you how my kid is. Has my child eaten? And is my child out of the bathroom where he was crying? That's what I want to know, but I can't get in anything because she's so busy telling me how much they love him and how everything is under control. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I talked to her for about 15, 20 minutes and cut her off when she started trying to have random conversations about other crap. And then I called little dude, and he didn't answer. Now, mind you, this is going on for a good 4 hours. She it's been going on 4 hours when she finally calls me. She called me about an hour after I texted her regarding, the meltdown, possible meltdown, whatever. And she goes, well, his dad has just gotten home and they're outside swimming. It's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I had no idea that he was on a 4 hour eating schedule or a high calorie schedule. His dad didn't tell me no crap. I knew his dad wasn't going to tell him because in one ear, out the other. I knew he wasn't going to tell her, and sure enough, because this has happened before. I have to reach out to the stepmama, or whatever she is, because they're not married. I have to reach out to the girlfriend and say, hey, can you give him his medication? Can you give him his antibiotic? Can you make sure he poops? Can you make sure? Because I tell him when they're together and he doesn't tell her. So a lot of stuff she already knows about him, but she does not know that he's going through this possible G-tube thing. So yeah, she didn't know. She goes, oh my goodness, I didn't know. His dad just got here. They're out swimming in the back. We bought them a swimming pool today and they're out swimming in the back. And I just made dinner. So I'm going to get them out of the pool here in a little bit and they're going to eat. It's 9:19 at this point. The last time my son ate was around, I'm assuming 1, because he picked him up a little after 12. I'm assuming 1 o'clock. He hasn't eaten in all this time. So she makes chicken and rice, which he eats. But with autism, they get used to certain flavors, certain textures. I don't cook the way she cooks. She doesn't cook the way I cooked, but she does know he likes chicken and rice. He doesn't like her chicken and rice. So at 9:19, I'm like, I'm going to give him time to eat, whatever. Little dude calls me at 11. I'm like, how are you doing? He goes, I'm eating rice at 11. I said, baby, how long have you been trying to eat rice? Mom, I don't like it. I said, well, you need to ask the girlfriend or your daddy to make you something else. Can you do that? And he didn't want to. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to call your daddy and have him, either make you something else or go pick you up something. Okay. And he's like, okay. He goes, I'm trying, Mama. I'm trying to eat it. He goes, but it doesn't taste bad. There's a lot of stuff in it. She put a lot of stuff apparently in her chicken and rice. I am chicken and rice. That's it. I can't do onions and bell pepper and all that with him. I can't. Now, I thought we had this conversation before, she and I. But she tried. She made dinner. He's being forced to eat it. He's forcing himself to eat it. And I tried to call his dad after we hung up and he didn't answer. So I texted him. I said, look, he's struggling to eat. You need to do something, make him something or get him something. He wants pizza. You want me to just keep feeding him the same thing? You know what? At this point, I don't give a crap what he wants. You get it for him, okay? He ate at 1 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock and he's barely sitting. Who knows how long he's been trying to choke down this bowl of chicken and rice. And at this point, at 11 o'clock, a little bowl of chicken and rice is not going to be enough calories to sustain him in the situation that he's in. I said, if he wants a friggin' pizza, I said, you need to stop worrying about it being the same thing and worry about him getting a G-tube. I said, if you don't know what a G-tube is, Google it. If you don't understand what sensory and texture aversion is with an autistic child, Google that as well. Get him a friggin' pizza. Get him hamburgers. Get him hot dogs. I don't care what you get him, but get him something to eat. Okay. So here we are creeping up on midnight probably, and I'm hoping little dude calls me again in a better spirit and better mood and with a full tummy. If not, I'll be texting or calling his dad and saying, what happened? Did he eat? Okay. So that's that. I haven't gone back for my follow-up because I don't have time. I don't have any PTO. My PTO is being saved for the kid and his follow-ups. I have not had a lot of pain. I still have some pain, but I haven't had a lot of pain. Okay, so now at work, I love my job. And let me tell you guys why I love my job. I love my job because I'm not really a people person. I like people, but I have to really like you to like you. Does that make sense? I really don't like being around a lot of people. People get on my nerves. If I like you, you must be super special. If I talk to you and visit with you and chat with you and kid around with you, you're super special because I don't have that tolerance for a lot of chit chat and bullcrap. And I think I've done so well at my job because I have my own office. Well, now apparently one of the doctors is so distracted working in an office full of doctors that he has been not complying with deadlines and he gets distracted. Now, granted, I will tell you this. He is diagnosed with ADHD, okay? He is diagnosed with ADHD and he is distracted, and I'm not making light of it at all. But now they want to give my office to this doctor so that he can concentrate and focus on himself. And they want to move me into an office with a coworker who she's not the most hygienic person. I mean, it's it's a, I hate to say it's a joke, but people think it's funny. This People think her body odor is funny, and it's not. Okay, it is. So not only is it body odor, it is cat feces and cat urine. She has 4 or 5 cats in a 1 bedroom apartment, and you can tell. If any of you own cats, you know what it smells like to clean out a kitty litter, and I clean a litter box 3 times a day. And even keeping it that clean, you smell kitty litter, so I'm very familiar. But this smell is, I think, penetrated in her clothes, maybe in her hair, I'm not sure, but it is so strong that I can smell it across the hallway where I'm at currently. And I hope I'm not sounding horrible, but I'm just telling y'all what it is. I have a very sensitive sense of smell, very sensitive. And it has been so bad at times that my eyes have watered, and reacted I've reacted in that way. And I've hid it from her, but they're wanting to put me in a teeny tiny office with this person. Not only that, it's 2 people on the phone all day long in a very, very small space with the hygiene thing happening. Not only that, she has people coming into her office all the time, chit-chatting and bull crapping. I don't work that way, okay? I can't work with a lot of chaos. I can't work with a lot of noise. I come in, I work, I focus, and I go home. That's what I do. I don't bull crap. I don't bull crap, and I can't work that way. So I'm panicked about what's going to happen. This transition takes place in September, and I'm panicked as to what that's going to be like. Up until now, I loved going to work. I'm already dreading it. I've had an anxiety attack over it. And anxiety attacks, I've been having them on the way to work. I've been having them. I started having panic attacks months ago. I haven't had a panic attack. I never knew what a panic attack was until I had one, and my doctor described what it was. I've had anxiety attacks since I was 15 years old, so I know when they're coming. Sometimes I can catch them, sometimes I can't. But I've been having anxiety attacks. I've been having migraines. The last migraine I hadn't had a migraine in 2 months, and the last migraine I had a week ago lasted 4 days. And I worked through 3 terrible days of it. I worked through it because I didn't have any PTO, and because, god dang it, I got work to do. Okay. So I put up with it I went into work one day, then I had to take off the second day. The third day I was there, and the fourth day as it's ebbing off, I was at work. So I worked 3 of the 4 days. I'm just under a lot of pressure. It's trying to make sure little dude is healthy. My mom did go home. Oh, okay, another thing. Okay. Sunday. My birthday was August 2nd. We couldn't celebrate together as a family that week because that was little dude. That was the week that little dude had to have his cleanse. So we couldn't go anywhere. He didn't go with his dad like he was supposed to, but we couldn't go anywhere because he needed to be close to a potty. I mentioned it in one of my videos. We were having to stay close to a potty. So we couldn't do anything fun. We wanted to go to the water park. I'm a water baby. I wanted to go to the water park. So the next weekend, this past weekend, I guess. No, I don't know. Okay. Went to the water park. Beautiful Sunday. Saturday. Beautiful Saturday with my family. Hung out with my mom. It was just beautiful. Spent the night at my sister's. Sunday morning, I wake up. The air is completely out in my car. It's been 100+ degrees here. The air is completely out. Oh my goodness gracious. So I go and see if it's just needing to have my Freon charged. And no, it's more than likely the compressor. I'm not putting in $600 into a piece of crap car that's falling apart on me. So now I'm like, you know what? You're just going to have to bite the friggin' bullet and get a car. Okay. So now I have to do that. I have to get the air in the house financed. That's another thing. The air in the house, I told you guys, is wonky. Upstairs, we have window units. It's quite comfortable. Downstairs has been hell in the 100-degree days. It's absolutely uncomfortable, intolerable. We have to be upstairs. I make dinner, bam. We eat. Sometimes we're eating on bed. We make a little picnic. It's too friggin' hot. Upstairs is comfortable. So I had people out here. I may have mentioned to you guys that I was going to have people out here give me some estimates. Well, the install of the thermostat in the new unit for the size of my house is going to run me $6,000 something. Okay, fine. But because the system is so outdated, they're going to have to go in and check the the friggin' tubes, the hose, the tubes, whatever, through the house. And I have a sneaking suspicion that one of them has collapsed in on itself, because even when the air was working, the bedroom upstairs that I'm currently in now, didn't really get a lot of blow. We didn't get a lot of cold air blowing through the vent. So they're going to have to go in there and duct. They're going to have to go in and check the duct work. And that can easily add on a couple thousand more. So I'm like, I'm having to look into financing that. I'm having to look into a car. I've been miserable. Okay, little dude, thankfully, when they're small, they don't feel the heat. I don't remember feeling the heat when I was little either. Now, I'm always worried about him. Mind you, he's lost so much weight. He can't lose any sweating. Okay, he can't lose any sweating. So, I worry about him. Is he losing weight, sweating? I don't see him sweating, but the car, he's sweating. Okay, thankfully, the daycare he's in is literally 3 minutes away from home. I pick him up, beep, around the corner, we're home. But I have the financing of the air, the financing of the car. I have the shoulder acting up right now. The work situation, little dude's health, and the daycare situation. I had mentioned to you all that he was going to have to go to daycare, or started going to daycare. I don't remember if I mentioned to you all that he's going to have to change daycares. The daycare that he's at, that I absolutely love, that's like Fort Knox to get in, does not take to school or pick up from school. There was one daycare left in my area that does, and it is gutter. Okay, I may have told you guys before. I don't know. I've gone through this story in my head so many times. I may not have told you, but it's gutter. It looks all slapped together. Maybe it was a house at one time and they just started adding rooms. I mean, the place is just in bad shape. The people are fantastic. Okay, the people are really, really nice, but I don't like that there's no security. You can just wander in. You can say you're whoever and wander in. I don't like it, but it's the only option I have. I cannot depend on my mother anymore because she has so many doctor appointments, and I'm not going to have her in this hot house. Okay, she won't be able to climb up the stairs with her hip healing the way it is. I would never have her in this hot house. It's not going to happen. Plus, like I said, she's going back and forth to doctors now, and I need a dependable source for childcare. And the daycare is always there, but I'm not comfortable with it. The only saving grace is that he'll only be there maybe an hour and a half after school. He'll be there maybe half an hour before school. I drop him off, they take him to school, pick him up, and he'll be there maybe an hour and a half by the time I roll around to pick him up. But I know I'm forgetting stuff. But it's just everything is going wrong at the same time. The house air is just too expensive to get fixed right now. I need a new car. I hurt myself because of this stupid car. Poor little dude with his issues, a horrible daycare, the crap going on at work. It's just everything started just going wrong, and I'm having anxiety attacks behind it. I don't sleep. I already didn't sleep. I've gone with 3 hours sleep minimum, where I can function on 3 hours, for 20 years. That's just how I'm built. That's how wicked my head is and how I take on life. But I thought I was going to cry. I did. I thought I was going to cry. Had I made this video a few weeks ago when it was just about little dude, I was not in a good place. I was so mad at myself. See, I was so mad at myself because I dropped the ball on my kid. So mad at myself. But I'm trying to fix it. And even with everything, he's in good spirits. He's a happy little boy. I just hope right now he's having a good evening. I hope he got something to eat. And if I think about that too much, I am going to cry. Because god dang it, how many times do you need to be told that you need to take a little extra special care of your kid because he is autistic and has issues, and you just don't get it. Oh! And if you guys are following me on Facebook, if we are Facebook friends, this is going to make perfect sense to you, because this afternoon when he picked him up, he pulled up in a brand new BMW convertible. Yet he can't make consistent child support payments or full child support payments. He hasn't asked if he needs anything for school. But you have a brand new BMW convertible. And when I first saw it, my memory died right as I was about to make a joke about his midlife crisis with this car. But when the battery died, I took the opportunity to call him and asked if he had giving him something else to eat. He said, yeah, he ate 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. It is 12:48. He just ate at about maybe 20 minutes ago. That's unacceptable, and I let him know. I let him know it was unacceptable, that he had to do better, or I promised him he would not be going back. My baby went all those hours without eating. I'm gonna go pray, which I've been forgetting to do. And I'm going to put my baby in God's hands and just wait for tomorrow till he comes back. But thanks for watching. I need to just go cry. Oh God, I'm so sorry. That is so gross, but it's life. That was gross. Y'all have a good night, guys. Bye.